All right, hi everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming to join me on your mat today. My name is Chinnery. For those of you who have not met me, I am a yoga instructor and a personal trainer in the fine city of Calgary, Alberta. Along with everywhere else, everything is shut down, so I'm just trying to offer some options for people to keep their bodies moving while they are in quarantine. So if you're ready, roll out your mat and come and join me on your back, and we'll head into our practice. So finding yourself landing into a nice relaxed savasana. We're just gonna let the back of the body rest for a few moments so that you can really truly let yourself arrive for your practice. Wherever you're choosing to do this, just take yourself to your favorite place, maybe a pasture in the mountains with lots of wildflowers. You can feel yourself laying down into the ground and just letting yourself really release. That's where I am anyways. And we're just taking that time to sink into our breathing, noticing how it's flowing right now, how it's moving. If you haven't already, invite your eyes to close just gently and take your gaze inwards towards your third eye center, middle of your brow. Start to scan or kind of observe and notice yourself on your mat, taking kind of a view from above, if you were to visualize yourself laying upon your mat. You could see all four corners. You could see your body just relaxing in this nice savasana, and we just let ourselves totally release every muscle in our body into the ground. And start traveling from your heels, noticing the weight of them into the ground, noticing the back of your legs starting at your calves, and then traveling to behind your knees, and the backs of your legs, your hamstrings. And then as you arrive at your hips and your glutes, can you notice if you're holding any tension there? Oh, there I go, relaxing just a little bit more. And then we're noticing that space beneath the low back in our mat. And then just feeling the weight of the upper back really surrendering into the ground. Can you relax your shoulders entirely? I like to plant seeds when I land on my mat. Those are intentions for me. So take that opportunity, take a moment, find yours, plant it. And then we'll begin to move pretty quickly here. And then start to wake yourself up, wiggle into your fingers, your toes, circle into your wrists and your ankles. Stretch your body long, fingertips to toes. And then curl yourself into a nice little ball. Squeeze everything super tight. Smile a little bit. You've landed on your mat for a practice. That's always a great feeling. And then let's relax the head and shoulders back down. Keep your right leg in towards yourself, and let's find wind-relieving pose. You can move your left leg forward if it feels good, or maybe just keeping that foot towards the earth and moving your right thigh wide of yourself up towards your armpit with your knee. Some really full breaths. slowly release your right leg, your right foot towards the earth. You can draw your left leg in if you've extended it forward, and then move the shin in closer, move your hands around the front, and maybe slide your right leg forward. Wind relieving pose on your left side. You can always play with movements in your feet. You can always just focus on kind of maybe flexing the feet, pushing actively through the right leg, through the heel. Seeing what's feeling good today. And then we'll take a nice slow release. Reach the arms above you, take your legs forward, and stretch again, fingertips to toes. And then slowly bring your feet back onto the ground and your arms next to the sides of your body. Let's begin in a bridge pose. So pressing down evenly through the feet, lift your hips up away from your mat. Just draw your chin a little bit in towards your chest. And we're just taking some nice full breaths. Maybe play around with coming up onto the tips of your toes. Last couple breaths. And then I'm going to slowly guide myself, heels down to the ground, upper back, middle back, lower back down to the ground. And then I'll move my knees back in towards my chest. Give yourself a little hug and squeeze maybe. Let yourself rock side to side. It might feel nice to make some little circles across your sacrum. As we move into more of a flow practice, we'll work with the pranayama ujjayi breaths. So if you're familiar, I invite you to start to engage into your breath. And then let's bring the hands onto the back of the thighs, rock and roll the length of your spine a couple of times. And then eventually, let's arrive in boat pose. I'm going to begin with my feet on the ground and just start to extend away from your thighs with nice long length in my spine. And then I might start to explore reaching my arms forward. So I'll always kind of progress the practice so that you can have more of a beginner's practice if you want to advance things. Maybe lifting your legs. You can flex your toes, gaze towards your big toes. I really need a pedicure right now. It's kind of funny. And then I can take any position with my arms. Maybe I could reach them up above. I want to make sure my spine stays nice and long and I'm engaging my bandhas. Core is nice and strong. Take a few more breaths. And then let your legs cross in front of you and plant your hands towards the earth and bring yourself back to a tabletop pose. So with your hands and your shoulders and wrist stacking, seal the palms down into your mat, and then hips and knees stacking, and then maybe just play around with kicking your hips out side to side. I'm really feeling my hips from a workout I did the other day, so it'll be really nice to stretch into that for a little bit. And then I'm going to take myself into a child's pose. So big toes touching, extend your arms forward in front of you, and just let your forehead rest down towards the earth. And just take a nice few really passive, relaxed breaths here before we begin to move. So our focus will be on hips and hamstrings today. So really opening up into those two spaces. I invite you to maybe grab blocks, maybe a strap if you don't already have one available. Take a few more breaths in child's pose.